Hello, everybody. Today we're going to talk about the Digital Personal Data Protection Act of 2023. This act provides for the processing of digital personal data in a manner that recognizes both the right of individuals to protect their personal data and the need to process such personal data for lawful purposes and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. Now, what is this law about? Suppose you're using a smartphone and you sign up on an app, let's say Instagram, or you buy things on Amazon, or you watch videos on YouTube. Each time you do this, your data, your personal data, like your name, your phone number, and your interests are being collected by these companies. Now, if these companies use your data without permission, of course, it could be very dangerous. Someone could steal your personal data or use them in the wrong way. Now, it is for this that the Digital Personal Data Protection Act was introduced by the Indian government. This Digital Personal Data Protection Act, was introduced by the India government to protect your personal data, to allow businesses and the government to use your data legally, and to make sure that no one misuses your private and personal data. Now, certain questions in this. What is a data principal? A data principal is a person whose personal data is being collected, stored, or used. So, effectively, that means you. Suppose you sign up for Amazon and you enter your name and phone number and address. Then this data is yours actually. So, you are the data principal. Now, if Amazon or any other app misuses your data, you have the right to complain because it's your personal data. So you are the data principal. Now, this data principal can be the adults. That means people above 18. Now, if it is for children, their parents or their legal guardian will be the data principal for the children. Now, for those with the disabilities or for those who are differently abled or those who need assistance, for them, their lawful guardian manages their data. So, as I said, you are the data principal. Since if you are an adult above 18, you own the data. If there is a child below 18, then their parents or legal guardians would act on their behalf. Or if you are physically disadvantaged, then there is a lawful guardian who manages your data. Now, who is a consent manager? Now, the consent manager is a person who helps you control your consent. That means you can give or review or withdraw your permission for your data. Let's say we take an example of a Truecaller app. Now, it always asks you for permission to access your contact details and your calls. Now, you can either agree or you can deny. And later, if you change your mind, you can go to the settings and change the permission. Now, here the app's system acts as a consent manager, and this consent manager helps you to control your data sharing choices. Next is, who is a fiduciary? A fiduciary is a person or an organization that is trusted to handle something valuable on behalf of something else. It is someone who is responsible for managing something important for you. And naturally, that person you will be trusting. The fiduciary must act in your best interest. So, advocates can be fiduciary, chartered accountants can be your fiduciary. These are people whom you trust. If it's a chartered accountant, you trust your accounts with him. If it's a income tax consultant, you tell him your income and expenditure, and you are sure that he will not tell this to other people. So, if you do, fiduciary is a person who is trusted to handle something valuable on behalf of someone else. So what is a data fiduciary? Now here, the data fiduciary is a company or a person that collects and manages your personal data. Why the data is collected and how is it processed? For example, let's take Google. Google stores your search history or your Gmail or your YouTube watch history. Then they decide on how your data is to be used for ads or for recommendations and etc. So they are acting as data fiduciaries. Some data fiduciaries are more important due to the large amount of sensitive data that they handle. So the government can declare them as significant data fiduciaries. For example, for the government, they're handling the Aadhaar details of almost all the citizens of India. Now, these can be called as significant data fiduciaries. Now, how is a data fiduciary different from a data processor? The data fiduciary makes decisions about your data. So it can be a person, it can be a computer. The data processor just follows order. Let's take an example. Let's take Amazon, and the Amazon is a data fiduciary. So it decides to store the customer data for faster checkout. Now, it gives this particular data to a cloud storage company. Of course, Amazon has their own cloud servers. So the cloud storage company acts as the data processor. So they just stored the data for Amazon. They do not decide on how to use it and all these things. Amazon decides. When Amazon wants it, Amazon downloads from this particular cloud storage company. So the data processor is something like a worker. They just follow orders. It does not decide what to do with the data. It just processes the data as per the data fiduciary's instructions. Who is a data protection officer? A data protection officer is responsible for making sure that the company follows data protection laws and keeps the user data safe. So it's a data protection officer can be something like a data fiduciary. They ensure that the company does not misuse the data and they follow a set of rules. And only significant data fiduciaries can handle a lot of personal data. So they must have a data protection officer for this. Now, what is meant by a digital personal data? Digital personal data is something that is stored in digital format and not on paper. So let's say your Aadhaar details. If it is stored online as a e-Aadhaar, then it is known as a digital personal data. And what is this personal data? Personal data can be any information that is used to identify you. Maybe your name, your phone number, your Aadhaar number, your address, your email, your photo. All these are personal data. Now, what do you mean by a personal data breach? A breach is when your personal data gets stolen or gets leaked or gets shared or changes without your permission. Now, example can be a hacker stealing bank customer data, that is the names and account numbers from a bank's database and posting it online. This is known as a data breach because private information is exposed without consent. Thank you. Please do subscribe.